No, it was actually fun because my birthday cake today had one of the Optimus Prime pictures that I've colored on it. Like I gave it to them and went, transfer this onto the frosting. And I just randomly happened to get the piece with Prime's face on it. So everybody is like, give me your face!
Previously on Pulling Your Bag Under the Base.
So, my next question is, what are your feelings about Swindle not being part of Minosaur?
I think it's kind of crazy.
Like how?
It's just, he's always been a part of the Stunticons, every incarnation. And I understand they're going for something a little different here, and he's kind of pulling all the strings, but I don't know, it just feels weird that he's not a part of something he's usually a part of.
I think that if he was a part of Minosaur, we wouldn't be getting all of these really great insights to him because he would be part of a whole, and they've already kind of shown combiners. Once you're in combined mode, you're not yourself anymore. You are part of the whole. Mm-hmm. And I think Swindle's one of those characters that he kind of is wasted a little bit to put him in with the combiners under that premise. Mm-hmm. Because he has carried this issue, and he has carried, anytime that we've had him a couple other times in the past, he seems to be standing up in front because of the way he's being written. Yeah. He's such a dynamic character that it's almost a waste to keep him in a combiner. So I'm kind of glad that he's not part of the combiners. I know. I kind of see it as he's kind of like the handler of Minosaur because he knows what it's like to be. Yeah. He knows what it's like to be, one of the dudes. But he's kind of like, I'm off the hook right now. I can be myself, and I can, tell him, okay, come this way, big guy. Okay, stop. Yeah. Right there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you got it.
This is truly pathetic.
Hello, TF General Mike and the Team Angel ladies. Just a quick audio message in response to your review of Combiner Wars Windblade 1. It is not in fact crazy for Swindle to not be a part of Minosaur, as Swindle is not one of the Stunticons. Swindle is a Combaticon. In every incarnation. Well, every incarnation where he's a Decepticon Combiner, anyway. I'd have thought Mike, at least, as a G1 fan, would remember which team Swindle belongs to, as there was that one episode where Swindle solo the Combaticons for parts. Though, to be fair, in this new age of combiners, Swindle would be Puzzle's hips if you paid him off, but I digress. Anyway, looking forward to your next review. Thank you, and bye.
Hello, angels. This is Charles, Big C, from the Transmissions podcast. Transmissions, Anyway, hi, Mike, and Amy, and Heather, and Nicole. So, just calling in. I really enjoy your Windblade reviews and the crossover between the Underbase and the Geekcast Pull Bag show. So keep up the great work, and really enjoying those reviews. And just wanted to call in and give you just a little bit of details on the whole combiner thing. I know there was a little bit of confusion in the last episode, so I'm just calling in to set the record straight. Hopefully this will be some useful information for you and all the listeners out there. So just to clarify some things, Swindle, he is a Combaticon. So since G1 he's been a Combaticon, they formed Bruticus, and he was never part of the Stunticon team. And in the IDW series, he has always been kind of this lone arms dealer, extra legal guy who, he is a Decepticon, but he has never really been part of the main Decepticon army. He's always been on his own, making deals, trying to look out for number one, as Swindle usually does. So back in the ongoing, he did get some combiner technology and make the Stunticons, turn them into Combiner, Minosaur, but didn't really work out for him. And now with Starscream giving him the Enigma, he was able to repeat his combiner. And I think the reason that Minosaur is still unstable is that they added Blackjack to the mix, and since, as you saw from the previous Windblade issue, Blackjack was a secret agent for Starscream, and he was a little bit mentally unstable. That made Minosaur even more unstable. So that's the deal with him. And They did swap out one of the Stunticons because, of course, there's a toy coming out. So they swapped out Wild Rider, one of the original Stunticons, and added in Off-Road as one of the new members. Same with the aerial bots. So Superion, they killed off Slingshot, again, because of the toys. And they added in the new guy, Alpha Bravo, who turns into a helicopter. So that's the new member on the aerial bots. And Power Glide as well. But Power Glide, they haven't really showed him as being part of Superion. They just made him into a gun in the toy. So in the toys, you can turn Power Glide into a gun that Superion can hold. So I guess that's how they're that's how they're claiming that he's part of Superion. Anyway, but yeah. So basically, Hasbro and IDW are working together to have the comics somewhat line up with the toys, so that's the reason why we get a couple of new characters in the comics. And the funny thing is, though, but now after all this drama with swapping out new members, we actually are getting the original members as toys. So Slingshot, the original G1 aerial bot who was swapped out, he's getting a new toy, just getting a new name called Quickslinger. And Wild Rider, the Stunticon who got swapped out, is getting a new toy called Breakneck. So go figure, we're already getting those new toys anyway. So I don't know if that means they'll come back into the comics. Maybe Slingshot will make a miraculous recovery after Combiner Wars is over. I don't know. Anyway, keep up the great work on Windblade. Looking forward to your review of Windblade number 2. And keep on trucking, and I'll be listening. Bye.
Transmission is go. Underbase is live.
Bonjour, hola, and aloha, good listeners. Welcome to the Underbase and the Geekcast Radio's pullback crossover for our second review, the second installment of Combiner Wars Windblade. So, I am your host, Nicole, aka Hailstorm, and with me is the person that does more wreckage than a Decepticon, a raider in King Arthur's court. We got Amy. Hi.
I'm as high as a kite right now. We've had a wonderful, hour of talking before this?
Oh, it's been awesome. And then we have the girl who loves Power Glide but just doesn't know it yet. Heather, how are you?
I was like, who are you talking of? Because certainly not me. Yeah, one shall stand and one shall fall, and the fall will be Power Glide. Lincoln still hate him.
So you just don't know it yet.
Well, I mean, Sarah drew him, and so for 5 minutes he was cute, but I was still, and then he still said, away we go. So I'm like, nope, I don't care how cute Sarah draws you, I still hate you.
And of course we have our dweller in the depths, Mike. How are you?
You see what I did there? I used our G1 titles of...
I know! I'm so
That's
proud
awesome.
of you.
I'm so special.
I think you really should have used Burden Hardest to Bear for me.
Oh my gosh.
At this point, that would be me. Oh, people
Poor Mike, you got stuck with the dweller in the depths.
It worked for me. All right, so
Web World.
Web World's awesome. Do not knock Web World. Love it.
We live in Web World. Are you kidding?
So before we start, I've got a confession.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so last podcast I made a big mistake.
I think we all made the mistake. Don't take the only,
We all moved down that mistake.
Yeah. We all wore that one real good.
I admit, I was in a hurry to get to work. I was a little rushed. And I said something that the world will not forget.
And none of us caught you or stopped you. In fact, we joined in.
So, to clarify, Swindle is not a part of Minisaur. Okay, I know
He
that.
never was.
But for some reason, when I read the question, that's how it came out. So, and I apologize. But to help things out, I'm going to take an idea for one of my other favorite podcasts, and I'm putting myself in a penalty box.
Oh no.
Okay, so this is what's going to happen. I want all of our listeners to go onto Twitter and hashtag penalty box for Hailstorm. And you put down what my punishment is supposed to be. First of all, there is some rules. I did not make rules with Alex Milne, and I'm suffering for it, okay? So,
she's going to make conditions.
Yes, I am. I learned. Okay. Rule number 1. Keep it PG-13 or friendlier. Okay.
Okay.
Rule number 2. It cannot break my bank. So I cannot go, like, swim the Ganges or, can't do that. Okay. It's got to be somewhat reasonable to my wallet. Okay.
So it needs to be someplace local.
Somewhat local. And it has to be within a reasonable time limit. You can't say, hey, go watch all 800 episodes of Transformers so you can learn your shit because you're a moron. Okay? As much as I'd love to do that, I can't do that in a month's time. Okay?
I already gave you
She's
one.
got to work, right? She's got to sleep. And
Yeah.
She's got to edit this podcast and start the next one.
I will not do everything that's suggested, but I will pick out 2, maybe 3.
So
Okay.
in other words, if people say, take a hammer and knock your hand with it, and then somebody says something else, she's going to take the less painful of the two.
You never. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm having a bad day. Pain's good. Okay. It's. I don't know. There's a bad karaoke song you want me to try to sing? I'll give that a shot.
Well, I would just ask you to disavow your love of Cyclonus.
I already did. I've already told her on. I already said it on Twitter.
Oh, that's funny.
I said,
as a suggestion,
no Cyclonus for you for 2 months.
as a suggestion, telling her to watch all episodes of My Little Pony is not a punishment. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Me too.
I shouldn't do that too much, people.
So, I am doing this in good graces that we will all forget about this horrible, horrible mistake. We're good? We're clear? All right. And Alex Milne, you cannot participate. I'm already in your debt.
What did he do?
I can't say.
She'll tell us off there, folks.
I don't want to say what I'm indebted to him.
She'll tell us off there, folks.
No, I'm not saying it to anyone.
Come on now.
He's probably sent her art.
Nope. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. No, he's making me do something. No.
Okay.
We're leaving it at that.
We'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah, from this we learned, do not mess with Alex.
Exactly.
Not unless you want to have, you want to die a horrible grizzly bear death.
So, yes, go on into Twitter. You could, at me, at Beetlesteve, or at Underbase, or at the Geekcast Radio. And then the hashtag is penalty box for Hailstorm.
Penalty box for Hailstorm. Got it.
I'm doing this out of good graces that we'll never speak of this again.
Okay.
Especially for Charles.
And for all of the Twitter accounts that have tweeted at the Underbase as well. I won't name them all off because there was quite a few.
Yeah.
Like I said,
my only excuse was that I was severely sleep deprived.
my excuse was, it's not an excuse. I was rushed. I needed to get to work, and I was kind of rushed. And I'm sorry.
It was our fault though, because we went over.
But guess what? Who doesn't have to work tomorrow, and who has 36 hours of being awake? Moi. This could be interesting.
It already has been.
Interesting is one word for it.
Like I said, I will not remember this conversation in the morning. All right, so we're going to get to our comic book here, and we're going to start off with some covers. Our first cover, the regular cover, is a Defensor showing his mighty guns off there with tiny little animated Windblade on his shoulder. So, and she's like saying, "Go hither!" All right, and that artwork is by Casey Collard, and colors by Joanna LaFuente. We have this subscription cover. It has Devastator doing what he does best, causing trouble. Artwork by Livio Ramondelli. And we have a retail incentive cover, which has Superion, flying over a city, looking all nice and bright with no, damage to him. And this says artwork courtesy of Hasbro, so
Clip
I'm thinking
art,
this is
basically.
yeah, so this is what's on the toys. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I believe Marcelo had something to do with them, but I'm not quite positive on that.
I still did this artwork, and I'd like to know. It looks really good. So, okay, Heather, let's start with you. Which one would you choose?
I gotta go with the first cover, the Casey one, because it's pretty, and the colors are awesome, and it's fun, and I love Windblade. Their little sword. But yeah, it's just fun, and it makes you want to be there, but, armored up so that you don't die in the next second.
What about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with Livio's because I just really love when he does covers because, as I said last episode, I don't think his art style is seen enough. Of course, we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, as far as the covers go, I like Livio's the best.
And that cover is on fire, man.
It is on fire.
It is on fire. It's it's burning. I'm going to go...
That could be literal.
Yeah. I am going to go because of the great intro to this issue, this cover that Nicole went. He's showing him his guns. I like that. That's cool. I'm going to go with the Casey cover because that's too awesome, man.
Yeah, this is one of those ones. I enjoy all three, but I'm going to go with Livio this time because Devastator looks great. He looks really cool.
And Devastator, Prowlestator.
Prowlestator, yeah. And yeah, I love my bad guys. We all know that. So this story is written by Margaret Scott. Story by Margaret Scott and John Barber. Art by Livio Ramondelli.
What?
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 And I'm like, wait, where's Sarah? What's going on here?
I didn't realize this until somebody else on Twitter was talking about Livio being on this issue, and I went, no, that's got to be wrong. And I tried to correct them, and I went, are you kidding me? I was like, no, Livio's not on this, isn't it, Sarah? Yeah. I rushed. I got this issue. I ripped it open as fast as I could, and there was no Sarah, and I just went, no Sarah?
Wait, you ripped it open? Isn't this on your computer?
Well, yeah. But I opened it as I was just trying to, illustrate how fast I was trying to open it, to read it, because I wanted to see. I was like, no, Sarah's on it. I was in that little twilight zone where I was, believing that, Sarah was actually on this, and I went, what? No! Cry.
You also have letters by Tom Belong and editor Carlos Guzman. So, we go to our first page, and it says previously, which goes back to Transformers 40. Am I right? Or is it 39? It's 40.
40.
Yeah.
That's 40.
Yes, 40. So, I will not make that mistake. Okay. So, we've got Starscream here in his pretty new body, and basically he's welcoming the colony of Caminus. Did you guys read 40?
Yes. I did.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
Oh, am I the only one that read it?
I read it.
Did you read it, Nicole? Okay.
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's just say this. I started reading Windblade and I hadn't read 40, and after reading the intro and going, huh? What? Feeling like I had completely missed something important.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I got 3 or 4 pages into it, and I couldn't get over I'm missing something. I know I am. And it wasn't really bothering me the first 3 pages. It was just because of the previously page, I said, okay, I have to go and read 40 before I go any further. So I stopped reading. I was 2 pages in. I hadn't gotten past Ironhide and Chromia talking, and I went, nope, gotta go do it. Gotta go find out what that previously page was hinting at, because I know I missed something important.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
A lot happened in issue 40. So basically, it says right here, Starscream got a new body because it's a new era, and he's a girl like that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a good fashion sense. I just lack it, so.
Well, I mean, he does have that second job as a seamstress.
Forgot about that. So basically, Starscream took the credit Superior on saving the day. And we also have Fix-It and the so-called Protect bots traveling into space.
But that's error because it's not Fix-It, it's First Aid.
I'm glad you know that. I'm like,
I super double checked that because I didn't want to be a dork because now I'm super sensitive about being a dork. But yeah, totally First Aid.
That's cool. Okay.
So maybe they'll fix it for. I mean, I'm sure they'll fix it for the trade. They might be able to fix it for the actual comic. Who knows? Fix it, eh? But you know what I mean.
Fix it.
They might be able to fix. Yeah, they might be able to fix it.
Yep. So, and they have a comatose guest who's having nightmares about Prime. And spoiler alert, that comatose patient is Mirage. So
that made me chuckle.
I was so happy about that. I love the Mirage spotlight, and no one has done anything with it until now.
It just reminded me. It reminded me the last time that I remember. I think it was at BotCon where John said something. No, it wasn't. It was some convention somewhere. I don't think I was there, but I remember reading about whatever, and he was talking about how no one's done anything with Mirage. Who's seen Mirage? Mirage hasn't been around for a long time. That came rushing back. Went, now I know why he said that. Because he was probably writing that episode, probably writing that issue at the time.
Well, I remember years ago, John being like, I've been trying to write a Mirage-centric Robots in Disguise issue for ages, and it just keeps not happening.
There you go.
And
that's
so I'm really stoked that it's finally happening.
I like to think that he's been, throughout this whole thing, he's just been hiding. He's a little shy these days, Mirage, you know.
Oh, right.
You wake up and you think that you're Decepticon. And
he's the one that's been taking care of Buster.
Oh, Lord, no. I want to talk about Starscream for a minute. Because this opening this opening pose of his, why am I reminded of the movie My Fellow Decepticons as your new leader?
That was the whole point.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
VVO is brilliant. That was the whole point.
Yep. Well, we also find out that Prowl learns that Optimus Prime and Windblade have stamped with Starscream. Guess what? Prowl, he flipped a table over this, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
he flipped a building over
he
that.
flipped a starship.
Uh-huh. And then we come to find out that his secret agent has been none other than Rat Trap. So, there you go. There we're all caught up from issue 40.
Almost. Mostly.
Almost.
Yeah. Just go read it. Just, So I have to say something here because, it's the perfect time to say it because we're going to, open up Windblade and go for it. Okay, now, my expectations for Windblade, because we talked about it last podcast. Okay, one of my expectations was that Windblade was going to be kind of contained in itself and do its thing alongside, Transformers, formerly titled Robots in Disguise. Now I opened this issue and read it and went, oh, I see. It's taking place of what Dark Cybertron did with More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise. Yeah. Windblade has become the other comic that's getting folded into this.
Yeah.
And so I'm not at first I was like, and I kind of had to get over that because I thought, okay, well, it makes sense. They did it last time for the last event that they did. This is supposedly another event, so we're doing an event, and that's what it is. And I just had to get over that, and I went, but I wanted to have Windblade like I had the first Windblade, and yeah. So if you're not reading the other half, the Transformers 39 and 40 alongside Windblade, you're missing half the story.
Yeah, you are.
You have to read it.
Yeah. See, I guess it doesn't just bother me because I know I'm picking up every issue of Transformers. So I'm not in that camp, but I could see where if someone was just wanting one title, where it could kind of set you off because so much happened in 40. I mean, the previous page doesn't really cover the whole.
Yeah, it doesn't.
spectrum.
Yeah.
But well, we have a 2-page spread here that, in case if you kind of missed out on Windblade, you kind of get why the tensions are so high. We have people on Caminus trying to pick up the rubble, the devastation of the last battle that has taken place. We have, is that tall Tankor? I can't tell over the watermark.
It's one of them.
No, that's tall Tankor, right? Okay.
Well, they also give him new names in this too.
That's true. So he's insulting a fembot. How rude! You're not going to get anywhere with her. Anyways, and then we have a good little conversation here of Ironhide and Chromia, and it's kind of like, okay, we agree to be friendly. We agree that we all did things wrong. Past is past. Okay. I think this is what was needed, just to have a conversation with these two to get the loose ties out of the way. So what do you guys think of their interaction? Do you think all is good with them, or is tension still high?
Between Ironhide and Chromia? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think this actually needed to be done because, the fallout for what Chromia did in the first Windblade, they do need to talk a little bit about that. I'm kind of glad that they do that, just because. Yeah. And this isn't I think we actually mentioned it again a little bit later in the issue too, where they, people make mistakes. It's just how it goes, and I mean, especially in where we go with that. But it just, I think it's good because I like those parallels because, Chromia made a mistake and it's been handled according to Windblade.
Right.
So, yeah, I would think that even after, the leadership has kind of, whatever kibosh that it's been handled, between friends. I mean, these guys have started to become friends, like, because we saw how, what role he played in, the first Windblade, these two, he kind of was getting out of his shell a little bit, because, he was, pouting.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that these two have kind of created a little bit of a friendship now at this point, I think it's good that Ironhide is that guy. He's like the seasoned dude that's like, hey, look, I know you made mistakes. It's okay. We all make them,
Mm-hmm.
And he would know that because, like, in previous story, he's been punching people in the face for their mistakes,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's nothing
Yeah, there's
wrong
a
with
lot of callbacks to All Hail Megatron.
Yeah.
With, other stuff that happens. There's a lot of cool parallels set up in this issue.
Yeah.
Between, wow, I'm sleep deprived too. Something that we'll get to later between Chromia and somebody else. But, I like what Ironhide says at the end of their conversation, and it's a very kind of real conversation, the way they talk with each other, where they're not quite safe with each other. I mean, Chromia's like, "Are you blackmailing me?" And he's like, "No," but he's also saying, I know what you did, and I thought about reporting you, but I like what he says about, I saw the way you looked at Windblade even after, and it was the same way a lot of bots looked at Optimus, the same way I did. And the fact that he recognizes that she has such a strong feeling of loyalty and friendship because he knows what that is because he has it himself for Prime.
Yeah.
And that's a cool way to sort of resolve a lot of that kind of stuff that had been hanging over Chromia, is to just have sort of an honest conversation with someone who's kind of a no-frills guy like Ironhide is.
And he's been there and done that. And
he's not going to sugarcoat anything. Yeah. He's just going to deal with it, yeah. You're right, 'cause he has
it's the wisdom of, hey, I've been where you are and I had to deal with it by myself, so I'm like a friend and, I get it because I've been there.
I didn't have no stinking Matrix to help me.
Channeling your inner Ironhide.
Oh, but guys, I love this joke where Chromia is using the gigantic wrench and she's all, "Where's Nautica when you need her?" That's hilarious.
It's awesome.
Oh, Nautica. The world needs more Nautica. Meanwhile,
But
on
it's nice that they still remember each other, that they're still friends, that they're not just like, we have
Now that
boys
she's
now,
not
we
in
don't
our
need to talk
series,
about each
she's
other.
gone and forgotten, right?
Exactly.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad that they did that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have Facebook. They're keeping up with each other.
Today on the Lost Light.
Yeah, Nautica sends copies of crap. What is that called? The Lost Light Insider or whatever
Yeah, the
it's
Lost
called.
Light Insider.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, she sends secret notes. Skids lives up to his name. Okay.
Is this guy Swerve for real?
Yeah. But onward.
Onward. While this is taking place, there's some things going on in Cybertron where there's a council on what needs to be done, and we have Starscream, Windblade, who are the leaders for the two worlds, and Mistress of Flame decides, well, if there's a tiebreaker, Optimus will take it. And of course, well, Starscream, being the lovely guy he is, he kind of doesn't like that because he thinks that, he's going to side with Windblade. But Windblade's like, I don't know. But you know what I like about this? This page right here, Windblade shows that she can be a leader. She steps up. She proves her point. She doesn't take sides. And
she throws his point back in his face, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of setup here. If you, like I said, you haven't read 40, must. They basically started a little council thing, and it kind of I like that this is kind of the natural evolution of what they're going back to. They're creating a council, and they're going to make sure that every person, every community every
world,
every off-world group that comes back will have a place. They will have a vote. They will have a person on this.
Which is awesome, because it's so time for a new style of government in Transformers.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue this post-war thing.
Yeah. I don't think someone's happy with that.
He's not, and he says, "Oh, this is going to come up as another primacy." It's like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you did there." But you know what? And then Windblade throws it back in her face. It's like, well, you know what? If you're going to be the one that's going to be like, my vote is the only one that counts, then that turns into a dictatorship of its own.
That's a dictatorship.
Yeah. So
I don't think though that's the Mistress of Flame there. I think those are the yellow one and the red one that have been
the other
out
city speakers. Yeah, the other two city
speakers.
speakers.
Because I didn't even think they're city speakers because A, they don't have the eye markings, and B,
they don't have
they were just kind of soldiers.
I was looking for the eye markings and they're not there. I
apologize. I thought that was Mistress.
That's all good.
She'd be standing higher than Prime now.
And then in the top panel you see them, and she is a girl because she has golden lips, but she's not. Her body type is different.
I apologize.
Bottom panel, it's like, this is not what the therapist told us to do. They are the old married couple of this book.
I'm wondering if there's a typo. Speaking of that last level, I'm wondering if there's a typo because this doesn't quite make sense. Windblade and Starscream are getting in each other's faces, and Windblade says, "Only the very stupid or very blunt speak everything they say, Lord Starscream." And I'm like, what? Because everybody speaks everything they say because they're saying it. So I'm betting that John meant everything they mean.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's another one that I'm like, hey, anybody wants to edit that? That would be good.
IDW is going to hire you, girlfriend.
I've done so much editing for people.
There's nothing wrong with that. It means you're good at it.
I got it from my mom.
Well, and it could just be that, maybe she's she's a little nervous, frustrated, and she just, kind of like I am on this podcast now. I'm not nervous and frustrated, though. I just can't talk because I can't talk. See what I mean? See what I did there? Yeah.
Between the four of us, we have one mind.
Yeah. Oh,
we're combiner ourselves. How's that?
Wait.
That's scary.
Did you just say that we are the Hive?
No, I'm the queen.
She's the Borg queen. Resistance is futile.
love this next page. Oh,
I know, it's
God.
such... I love Waspinator so hard.
Waspinator they do not see anything.
He's always
Right,
at the
so
wrong place
we
at the wrong time.
So we do go back to Kamiya. Kamiya? Did I say that right?
Caminus.
Isn't there somebody?
Oh my
I think there's
gosh!
somebody in some issue lately who goes Kamiya, and then like, no,
I
it's
am.
Camus.
It was
This
this.
is what happened because I read 40 and Circuit does that, and so it's
Circuit.
just like
Yes.
and so now it's just like it's in my head, nice and fresh. So anyways, we're back to Ironhide and Chromia. Things start to get a little personal with the two, but a friendly little bug comes screaming for his life, and he's brought a big friend with the big mouth. Prowl and the constructing cons tell the Cybertronians to leave for their safety. So, unfortunately, Sparkstalker gets a face full of cannon blaster there. I feel sorry for him. The Firecon's getting justice.
Poor Firecons.
Yeah.
Oh man, who is it that like absolutely loves the Firecons?
Adam.
Yeah, he should have been a little quieter because apparently people are listening and are just like, if we do this, we'll torture him.
Margaret's like,
That's kind of like Margaret with her Insecticon killing.
Well, the thing is, he's a Firecon. He's built out of fire. He is fire. He can stand heat, so this cannon blast is going to hurt, but it's not going to destroy him.
I hope not.
Right?
I
hope we don't want him pulling a scrounge.
Yet he's later on in the issue as well.
True. I just had to say that though because got to get my digs in for the scrounge because Margaret killed him.
So
Poor Gruffy.
We've got Waspinator back. He was the one that was the whole Metroplex key, and now he's bringing Devastator to.
He was in Windblade 1, he was the guy that was, loving on the sludge of the
Yep. Thank you so much for putting it that way.
Yeah, the sludge. Nom, 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 nom.
He was so adorable, Matt. I mean, come on, it was good. It's like he's
I love how
all
Brent's like, Waspinator not see anything, and Ironhide's just like, oh no. And Chromia's just like, I'm not feeling a lot of warm fuzzies about Cybertron.
Well, just to put a little bit of, again, back in issue 40, Prowl comes back to Cybertron, doesn't tell anybody, and he's really upset that when he got on the phone to Prime, that Prime lied to him.
Yeah.
So
Prime omitted some information.
I'm sure that doesn't help the situation because now he's like, rah, I will fix it myself.
I just got a question. Do you think Prowl's ever been happy in life?
Not this version of him.
Only when he's flipping tables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't think of a time when Prowl was happy.
I got a great idea. You know what? After all this is said and done, they're going to have him wait tables.
Oh my gosh! Oh man,
that would be brilliant.
And Swerve. Swerve is his boss.
That would be amazing.
No, because Blur would be not in my place. Go put him somewhere else. And Rodimus will be like, oh gosh, please don't put him on the Lost Light.
And he's on Swerve's. I would love to see Swerve as a boss to Prowl. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
And Prowl can't really accomplish anything because Swerve never stops talking.
Exactly. He keeps on showing off his little blaster.
Okay, so
anyway,
I didn't mean
it's okay. We were talking about Prowl,
Prowl.
So anyways, again, we go back to Cybertron. Again, this is one of those issues like last issue. We're going back and forth between worlds. So it's like...
Yeah, it's easy to get lost. I sometimes just like, wait, where?
Yeah, it is. So we have the O Fortuna. I love that they say that. It rides back on Cybertron with Mirage and the crew. Mirage, after a long time in a coma, wakes up just like, whew, Well, that was a good rest. You know, he just needed a good nap, apparently.
His little jump off the gangplank is
I know.
adorable.
And, well, he just barrels out of the ship, and he runs to a face we haven't seen for a while. Why, hello, Sunstreaker. How are you?
Where's Bob?
I know, where's Bob?
Well, because those two have got some history from back in All Hail Megatron, so it's just kind of fun to even just have people bump into each other and be like, I know what happened.
You know what? I'd like to believe this, because my guess is that he's here now because he was on the Lost Lake. He came here after Dark Cybertron, that type of thing. I'd like to kind of believe that Bob dumped him.
That Bob dumped him.
Bob is still on the Lost Lake. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
I love that little guy. So cute.
Bob's like, greater chance of finding Turbo Fox friends.
Not on Cybertron.
Well, their interaction is pretty short, and we find out that the nightmare vision that he's having of Optimus is coming true. But before he hates being right. We found that out. But before he could get the word out, Chromia sent out a distress call saying that Caminus is under attack. Even though they have help, more backup is needed because Devastator is running amok. So, I mean, okay, let's talk about this last panel. Foreshadowing a little bit. Optimus has the Protect bots basically standing behind him.
Yep.
And so you kind of see where this is going. I gotta say, I do love that panel.
My favorite panel is the perhaps, but it is not mine panel, where Prime's just like, anger eyes.
Yeah, it's the wheels are turning. What is Prowl doing now?
Yeah. She's like, Prowl is, and it's Prowl's own darn fault, because he is not a team player.
Not
and
anymore.
So people stop trusting him.
Yeah.
Optimus has got that look like he's the babysitter and it's the problem child over again.
Yeah.
Like,
really? Yes, I know that
but
one
that
too well.
was one place where I actually really heard, even almost like the movie-verse Peter Cullen voice, where he's just like, ooh, angry Prime.
So
every time I see Power Glide, all I can hear in my head is, and away we go.
You act like that's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
It's a good thing. Remember, you're the girl who loved Paraglide. You just don't know it yet.
No,
I will find a way to get revenge on you for giving me that nickname.
Uh-oh.
Everyone has revenge.
That's true.
Put in, penalty box for Hailstorm, and there you go.
Exactly.
What a way to plug your own hashtag.
Oh, I can't wait to see what people come up with. Again, PG-13 people. Okay. Okay, so Ironhide and Prowl. Well, Prowl's in Devastator, but we all know that he's the one that's in control. Those other bots I really feel sorry for.
They don't care as long as they're smashing. I think if anything, they're just giving the subliminal message to Prowl. Be angry. Be very, very angry.
Well, that's the point of this whole entire series, is that the Constructicons know that once they merge, they're not in control. Prowl doesn't understand that, and he's slowly being subsumed in the Devastator identity, and he doesn't recognize that's what's happening to him. I mean, he has the red eyes now on occasion. Yeah. And, yeah, like the last panel of the previous issue of 40, he's got red eyes, and he's just, he does not get it. I mean, Superion has that conversation this was last issue too, with Prime about, no, this is a oneness that I don't think you understand.
Yeah, when he was talking to Silverbolt, and he's
so
like, no,
really
I'm not Silverbolt, I'm Superion.
I genuinely think that at this point, Ironhide's talking to Prowl, but it's probably mostly Devastator talking back to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Prowl thinks he's in charge, but he is not in charge anymore.
I really hope if he becomes one and the Devastator personality comes out, they actually color the head in green and purple, because the red and white just looks stupid on a green and purple
I like
body.
it. You hush.
It just looks stupid.
I think it's necessary to put it there specifically because it is Prowl. Because maybe at some point they might bring back, You never know. No one stays dead in, Transformers forever. So my guess is
or
eventually.
any comic book for that matter.
Yeah. But for right now, I think it's kind of necessary, just because if not, you'll forget that it's Prowl. Well, maybe not forget.
No.
But,
I know, but I'm saying I want to see if the Devastator personality takes over more, I want to see more of a color change as we go along. Okay. I'm not saying I don't want to see it here right now. I mean, it's fine right now, but still, the colors just look weird to me.
I like it.
I like it. Because I needs me some pathos. I live on that stuff. So it's just like, yep, there's Prowl, part of Devastator. You have feels about this, children. Go.
Yep. Well, we have Ironhide and Prowl here having their tets as Waspinator and Bat Tankor bring on some comic relief. Super adorable.
Yeah, one wants to change his name to Better Tankor. The other one says Fast Tankor. No! And then Ironhide says, that's not what they call you behind your back.
Well, we find out that Prowl's like doing double duty, as he's also talking to Waspinator. This guy's very talented with all the communications he can get out. So, and then during this, what's that in the background? What do you hear? Oh, it's Superion. He makes his entrance. I guess it's gonna happen. Booyah! Here we go. Bot action.
You know what's really funny about this whole thing? Because, and I forgot to mention this, and I just remembered that I was going to mention it. Okay, so at the very beginning, they're talking about the Decepticons being helpful, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Prowlistator comes barging in there and says, okay, all the Decepticons and all you people, get off here. He's basically saying you can't trust the Decepticons, and that's the reason why I'm here, to get you guys off this planet, because I'm going to protect it. I don't know what logic you're using, but you're getting on about the Decepticons. You are a Decepticon! I can't wait for one of the people there to call him out on that and say, dude, really, there's one of you that's an Autobot, the rest of you are Decepticons. Where did you think that you were, immune from this, Devastator?
Wait, so this is kind of like when I tell everyone I'm a good girl, and no one believes me?
We
don't kind of like the same thing?
No, it's not the same thing, because he's way more destructive than you are.
I'm just waiting for an Elaine to come to his George and, take the toupee off and throw it out the window, please.
I hate this thing.
So, can I say, for the next couple pages, we've got this huge, big bot fight. This is comic book porn to me because I love when robots fight. Okay?
I have to say I agree with that. This gets really fun.
And there's really a lot of good hits.
Destructive, but, it's all in the name.
And I love the onomatopoeia.
And Livio does destruction well.
He does.
Yeah. So, and like I said, the onomatopoeias, love it. That like that. Okay, there we go.
Superior loses an arm.
Oh no!
He loses an arm. I was like, dude, you just got this guy back together.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Huh?
Oh, but he won't be down for long. We'll get to that. So, meanwhile, I should just say back at the ranch, back on Cybertron.
Back at the ranch. The robot ranch.
The robot ranch. They are notified that Devastator is living up to his name and is taking down the space bridge. So after Devastator has taken down Superion, he's going to go towards the one tool they can get to get more help.
I was honestly worried. I was really honestly worried that he was going to take off Superion's head. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is another thing. He keeps on talking about decapitating people. Proud.
Oh.
You notice that? And
you're right, yeah.
Because he brings it up again.
Yeah.
And I think it's because that's his main fear, because he is the head.
Cool. I hadn't really thought about that parallel, but I had noticed that he brings up decapitation a lot, but that's an interesting...
Yeah, because if they take off his head, Devastator's not Devastator.
Yeah.
And he, in my personal opinion, that's not Prowl either, because I think Prowl gets off on being in the combined mode.
He probably
He's
does.
Kind of like Tarn, then?
Yeah. Kind of.
Well, Prowl has always been the guy who works in the shadows and doesn't ask for any recognition. I mean, I'm thinking back in the issue that I think Nick wrote about Prowl and Cup and Springer and Prowl kind of reworking Cup and using him as kind of almost a mouthpiece.
All Hell
And I
Megatron
wonder-
15, you mean?
Yeah, thanks for knowing the number.
I just memorized that one just because it's so good.
It is good. This idea of the Constructicons' influence allowing him to let loose that thing that he never ever has, of just taking what he wants instead of having to plot for it and work behind the scenes. And that's just interesting that I could see how he could really become sort of addicted to that. Just being like, fine, power, take what I want, do what I want. You guys are all crazy.
Well, power is a very addictive drug.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's why I'm never allowed it. Hence why I'll probably never be in charge of another podcast. So, all right. So we've got him destroying the space bridge. People are trying to figure out what to do next. And Prowl is basically saying we're all gonna die. He's taking on Rat Trap's we're all doomed. There's no hope for any of us. Together we shall die. And it's just like, wow. For a guy whose main motive is like a police vehicle to protect and serve, he's really thrown that to the wind, you know? So, do you think that there's still hope for Prowl at this point? Him taking down the spray strip, him saying that we will all die together.
I think he needs to have a session with Rung.
Yeah.
He does. He's talking about dying. He's like, are you depressed? Is that the reason why you're doing all of this? Really? Dude, all you had to do was just go talk to Rung. Not that that would fix things right away, but still, I mean, kind of, you know, is he having a hard time just seeing where he will be in a, you know, post-apocalyptic, the end of, post-apocalyptic world that's trying to rebuild itself? Because, like, that's, you know, I mean, if I were Prime, I'd be like, you said you wanted to die. Okay, let's talk about that. Where's Rung when we need him, right? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, there's a place for Prowl. He just needs to learn to be able to let it go. Because, and this is something that we get to at the very end, so maybe I should reserve my comments for then.
Okay, so
because they do have a point.
Yeah, we're going back to Caminus, where Ironhide and Chromia are noticing that they're destroying the space bridge. I can talk. And so, my girl Chromia, she's stepping it up, and she gives a great, like, war speech. She rallies up the troops, and she wants to make sure that this Devastator doesn't destroy this bridge. Ironhide, all of a sudden he becomes the 19-year-old bot again, and he has great memories of taking down a combiner. And he has a beautiful look on his face, like,
yeah, I love his look.
Oh yeah, it's on. And I love this next page as they come running through the space bridge, taking down the Prowlestator there. Okay, this is just gorgeous. So, but yet we have Optimus in the background here. I don't think he gets what's going on. Optimus I think he's kind of lost right now. He sees his friend, and he wants to help his friend, but then that excludes, like, everyone else around him. So Prime is getting torn by saving an old friend. But Windblade, being the awesome gal she is, she steps in and kind of confronts him. Do you think that was the right move?
Yeah, because Optimus needs to be gut checked. Optimus doesn't know what the hell's going on, like you said. I mean, he can't just be out to save his friend. Don't get me wrong, saving a friend is one of the most noblest things you can do, but if it's going to be at the cost of 2 planets, you need a bitch slapping.
You know, the thing is he's like, I can still reach him. He's like, that might be true, but in the meantime, devastation, hello. I kind of get it. Like, this is absolutely personal to him. I mean, in the past, he's even said this, and you know, Superion is on the ground right there. Of course, Superion. Especially after, you know, we know that Optimus Prime was like, you know, don't use him as a weapon, and he's obviously been used as a weapon. Prowl is just one of those other people, and I think the thing is that and this is very Optimus Prime, is the fact that he knows that Prowl has been struggling, and he's tried to give him his opportunity to deal, and he hasn't done it. In fact, every single time Optimus is turning around and walking away and then turns back, Prowl is doing something that he shouldn't be doing, and he should be sidelined. And I think at this point, it's kind of like the, crap, I should have done something. I should have seen the signs. He's being guilty. He feels guilt because that's what, Optimus Prime does in the past, and he's very much on par on that. But he's still got this idea that he can reach him. And I think at some point, he's just going to get to a place where he's unreachable. And I don't think Prime has realized that yet. And I think he is at that point. He's very much borderline on that.
Unreachable. It's an interesting contrast. You see a cool contrast between Starscream's way of handling it, Windblade's way of handling it, Ironhide's way of handling it, and Prime's way. Yeah. Because they all have kind of their different ways. And Prime has always been the guy who's going to deal personally with people as individuals. Ironhide's like, I know it works to go up and punch the combiner in the face, and it's really fun. And Windblade's still being the diplomat, but she is coming at it from the outsider stance, where she doesn't really revere Prime the same way, especially the rest of the Camians do. She's very separate from everything else, and so she's able to look at it very clinically. And Starscream is Starscream, where he's kind of in panic mode at this point. But he just wants, as usual, he kind of has shaken the dice and really hopes that they come out his way.
Well, speaking of Starscream, we'll continue on with him here. He likes to show up his new body very well, as he has hidden the Enigma away somewhere in his body. He's pulling it out. I don't know where he hid it. That's just his little secret, okay?
I like how in that panel he's like, speak to the hand, Windblade.
Yeah.
He's like,
so,
out of my way, I can handle this.
Apparently this relic isn't just combining magic, but it has healing powers. And it brings the boys of Superion back standing in good force. So, aha! But wait, there's more.
Yes, Swindle.
Aha! There's more. With a smirk and a little plan, Starscream drafts the old Fortuna crew, willing or not, to become Devastator. And we get this beautiful path.
No, not Devastator. We're not going to make any mistakes this time.
Defensor.
Defensor, yeah.
I did it again.
It's okay. We caught you this time.
I actually have it in my notes. I have it in my notes correctly.
They both start with D-E.
D-E-F, D-E-V. Get it right.
I'm deaf.
We'll call them Deffy and Devi just to confuse people.
Jesus.
It just ticks me off that I have it written down, and I still didn't read it correctly.
36 hours without sleep is an adequate excuse.
It happens. Things look the same.
Amen to that.
You guys are all looking the same to me. So
I love how Starscream just does not care. He's like, you guys have worked together for a while, right? No, you're in sync with each other, maybe. Good, this might work.
Here you go.
Like, he does not care.
Yeah, so with this beautiful panel, he says, he's just like, okay, let's put you guys together and let's get the fist to the face on. Okay.
Consider yourselves drafted. I loved that line. I thought, oh,
I love that line too. I was going to say that. That's one of my favorite lines. So, what do you guys think of just Starscream taking this drafting mode and just shoving a few bots together and saying, hey, go for it? Do you think this would work with other bots?
I'm sure it would.
Starscream doesn't care.
All the power that Starscream has is terrifying right now. Prowl's right that that's a massive problem.
That is a massive problem.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He just wants to win. He just wants to win, and he wants to yield the power the way that he does. The whole combiner, the Enigma of, what is it called?
The
Enigma combination.
Okay, I was going to say, it's not the power or the sword of power, okay? He has the power. Oh, sorry. Anyhow, it's this little gimmick thing that heals people and combines them. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So,
powerful fun, but why does Starscream have it? Again, Scoop, why did you do that? Prowl does have a point, but he didn't have to go all Destructo Man, get his point across.
And here we have our second major fight of big bots just duking it out. We got 3 this time, so it's leveled up.
Now I know why they called it Combiner Wars, huh? Yeah, right there. It's a big war.
I love when Defensor comes online. Target Devastator mission destroy. Superion agrees.
Of course you would agree.
Love that.
Yeah, so with several exchanges about strategy, it all comes down to the new boy, Blades, who flies right through the torso of Devastator.
That was awesome.
How awesome is that? I was like, you guys got it. He's won me over. Booyah! I love that panel.
Oh, jeez. Through the chest.
I love how surprised Prowley's like, ah!
Didn't expect it through the chest, did you?
Now,
it's all fun and games until somebody gets plowed through the chest.
I hate it when that happens. You know, that's when a good sports bra comes in handy.
Or in their case, a good sports bro.
Fancier. So, I can't tell from this watermark on the next page, but is Prowl's head completely detached from Devastator?
I think Prowl is detached from Devastator.
But not, he's not in head mode though, right?
No. He's just Prowl.
He's falling apart, yeah.
Okay. I can't tell. That's what I wanted to ask.
In fact, this top panel, which I will totally go off about when we get to the art, you see Devastator falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's Prowl kind of lying on the ground.
I just couldn't tell if it was just his head, because he's been talking about decapitating people. I just thought that would be ironic at first.
But yeah.
Oh god. In another life, Prowl is the Queen of Hearts. Off with his head!
Again, we have Optimus having a hard time explaining with the expectations of Prime that he's still wanting to help Prowl.
Yeah.
Again, Windblade steps in. She shows her authority. This is why I like Windblade. This woman has definitely changed in the year that we have known her. She's grown to be such a big character. But Starscream matches her authority. He's like, no, if he's going to be tried on this world, it's going to be tried on ours. So poor Prowl, it's not looking good for him because
everybody wants a piece of him now.
I'm pretty sure lifetime sentences for Cybertronians is a long time, and he's done a lot. So, do you think that Prowl should be tried in both worlds?
No.
If they
not
do
two separate trials, but he should be tried.
He should be tried on Caminus because that's where he actually did something. Here he hasn't really, he's fighting a lot of people, but I think his first offense is the fact that he showed up on a planet where he had no authorization to do so. And I think that seems to me where the problem is. I know Starscream wants to do something to him just because it's Starscream and, power to his head. And Optimus Prime wants to give him a chance because, it's his friend and he knows better and, he knows him, but he's like, dude, why are you acting like this? But I think what really is important is the fact that he says, like, one of the other Chamians, like, they say, Prime, you would defend this monster? Because, hey, he's a monster. Why are you defending him?
Those poor Chamians are in for a really bad letdown when they realize that Prime is not God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
because that's going to happen.
He's not going to be disappointed with that. Really.
I agree that Prowl should be tried on Caminus, but I hope to God they don't show a friggin' trial again. That was so boring the first time.
But I would watch it just for
Yes.
I would watch it just for the Tyrus crown.
No.
I doubt they're going to have a chance because there's too much just craziness going on.
I will say that Starscream was screwed up.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment.
I think it's fair to say that he knows that his power on Cybertron is limited to Cybertron.
Yeah.
And which would be good, but like the more he struggles, here's another reference for you. The more he tries to tighten his fist over Cybertron, the more it'll go right through his fingers.
Through his fingers,
Yep. Yes. That's exactly what's happening to him.
Well, we also see that things are starting to cool down. Chromia steps in, and she says what could be wrong with Prowl. It's not hate, but it's fear. She starts talking pretty much about herself. We have this great interaction with Chromia and Windblade. Not just an actual, communication, but there's also nonverbal communication, which is greatly exchanged here. And you can see the devastation in both their eyes, and they both understand each other. So at this point, do you think Windblade has totally forgiven Chromia for what's happened?
I don't think that it was ever. I don't think there was ever in question whether or not she forgave her. I mean, because she still has her by her side. She didn't send her back. She could have. She didn't. She could have said, "I don't want you on my detail anymore. You're confined to Metroplex." She didn't. It just seems like to me that she had to put her in her place, but that's as far as she went with it. I don't think she went overboard, because when it all comes down to it, they're still almost like sisters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, she made a mistake, and she gets it. But, and that's the thing, is that I think that is another thing that kind of is important here, is that she was willing to forgive Chromia to a point. I think that, that there's still a little bit of a gap between the two of them over it, because, feelings and all that. They're willing, if she's willing to forgive Chromia, are they willing to forgive Prowl for the same reasons?
See, I mean, it's kind of like the same way that Prime is probably going to have to face with Prowl. A longtime friend, pretty much brother in arms, guy that he thinks probably as a brother. He's going to have to go through the same emotion as Chromia and Windblade have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how it works in families. I mean, sometimes someone does something that really destroys your trust in them. But that doesn't mean you're not family. It just means that you're a little more wary around them.
Yeah, that you have to rebuild trust.
And, that seems to be what's going on.
I think there's nothing more telling than having a panel that where, Prowl is screaming, things don't change on this. But he has so changed.
Oh, yeah.
He has
I
so
love
changed.
that panel, too.
That's a good panel.
Devastation again. Livio, awesome. 2 thumbs up.
I honestly, at this point, especially with the last 2 issues, I kind of think Prowl is going to be dead by the end of this arc. Like, straight up dead.
Poor Prowl.
Because he is unwilling. He is stuck in the same mode Chromia was stuck in the Windblade thing, like Chromia is talking about, where you are so hung up on a threat that you can't see anything else. And you're saying that Prowl has changed, but in a way, he is the one that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He has not.
He's done both.
Been willing to change his viewpoint, and he's just like, these are dangerous. I can't accept that anything might have changed, so I'm going to continue on in my course, and he's not willing to let go. Now, granted, he's still kind of right. Starscream still has way more power than he should, but Prowl is not dealing with it in any way
in a healthy way. It's not healthy
good.
at all.
Yeah.
Not for him. But I think that the whole point, if anything that comes out of all of this is that it makes Optimus Prime, and I think it does, because, you get the panel of the second to last page. That last panel just before you get the big full panel, where Prime says, I do see the cause of his concerns, and he's looking at Starscream.
Yeah. And we also have a fellow bodyguard, I guess. I thought that was the Mistress of Flame, but it's not. I don't know their name.
I don't think they have names yet.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
They're asking Starscream to help him by lending one of the combiners to stay on the world. And of course, he's more than willing to help because that's Starscream. He's a helper, right? Yeah. Okay, what I like about this last page is you can't see Starscream's fingers. I like to think that he has them crossed when he's saying that.
That's awesome.
sure, I'll help you. Not a problem.
He was the one that made that problem. Just saying.
Yeah. So we have the end of our comic, and that we have this gorgeous panel with the two combiners and Starscream and
fire.
And
lots
of fire. Yeah.
Yep. So
Flame of fire! Ring of fire. There you go.
So, now that we've gone through it, let's talk about Livio's artwork here. We've talked about a couple of panels here and there, but overall, Mike, let's start with you. What do you think of? I know it's not Sarah, but it's Livio, and so what do you think of?
It's not that it's. I love Livio's art. I love his designs. It's just, as I said in the last podcast that we did on this series, these are characters, and this is a setting that Margaret and Sarah came up with together last year, and I think it's a disservice. Now, I don't know what Sarah's doing, like when she's not on this issue. I do know, just by solicits, if solicits can be believed, that she'll be back for issue number 3, but it just... I've gotten over the fact that it's not Sarah in this issue, and I still am Livio does art like High Moon Studios does video games. I mean, seriously, every time I read a Livio book, I'm thinking, okay, High Moon Studios can take this artwork and make a video game out of it. It is that beautiful. But it just bugs the hell out of me, and it's just a little thing that just bugs the crap out of me that it's not Sarah.
I think this is good. If they all put them all together back to back like they're supposed to in trade, I think it will work out. That's just me, though. So
it's going to be fine. I think honestly, I don't actually miss Sarah in this because this is still. It's like when it was Dark Cybertron and it was still very much John's story. Like, I mean, you'll notice I messed up earlier and I was saying, John, you might want to fix your wording right here. And then I forgot that this was actually written by Margaret.
Yeah.
Between the fact that Livio's drawing it and it is this Combiner Wars story and not a focused Windblade story, I had just, we just kind of lump it all under the umbrella of John Barber. So yeah, it'll work. I do really, really, really hope that if and when they continue on with Windblade as its own series, independent, that we can get back to Sarah, because she does bring something that no one else does, and I really enjoy what she brings to the table. This was beautiful, what Livio did. There were a couple of parts in the fight where I honestly can't tell what's happening, and that kind of irks me. Like, especially on the page. Like, if you guys can tell me, this would be awesome. Okay, so, for instance, there's the page when the two good combiners are teaming up at Devastator, and he's all, by all means try, and then there's the panel that says, old moves, Devastator, Superion learns, and I can't, there's like this big whoosh, and I gather that he missed. But it looks like Superion's head has sort of split in half.
Yeah.
And maybe that's actually what's happened. Yeah. Maybe, like, I forget who forms the head, but maybe that person is sort of transforming around so that the fist goes past. But it's confusing.
No, and that's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think his face splits apart and it goes through. So he's like, he's shooting for his head, or he's punching for his head, and he misses because Superion learned how to deconstruct his face and then reconstruct it together.
Yeah. And that is kind of fun because, Margaret is awesome at making us love big guys who don't say much, which is cool.
And how many times has a Transformer done that? They are a Transformer. Why not use it,
true.
Right? So
stuff.
But then again, he still grabs his head and tries to crush it.
Yeah.
All I can think of is Allura and Hunk form the legs. Lance and Pidge form the arms, and Keith forms the head.
And I'm still thinking about how when we're trying to transform something and it won't go together right, it's like, I'm pushing really hard. Come on, dang it, transform his head.
What about you, Amy? What do you think of this art style?
I love Livio, and I'm not gonna say that I don't love it, because I do. I was going to make this big thing about, oh, we don't like it when we switch artists on things and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Like I said, I'm coming back to this whole my expectations thing. When I first started this, I didn't read a lot of the things that were on about it. I didn't know what, I knew it was an event and that was it. That was all. And I didn't really have any expectations other than I expected Windblade to be like, you know, like the first Windblade was, where we have 4 issues that'll be traded on its own. And then when I suddenly read this, and I realized that no, that's not what we're getting, I kind of went, okay, so what are we getting? And I went back and I looked at 39, then the first one, then 40, then this one, and went, okay. So basically, we're getting an event that just happens to be called, part of it is called Windblade, because Windblade is in it, and we go to her hometown. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I should be a little disappointed, but but I am getting exactly what I wanted. I wanted to go to Caminus. I wanted to go there.
You can do it, Amy.
I'm sorry. I'm, you know, I am channeling my inner circuit.
You mean fix it?
That too.
Apparently I am too, because I don't even know the name of the planet anymore.
Yeah.
Starts with a C.
The point is,
Caminus. I know that, people.
Yeah. Caminus. Okay, so because so far, if you look at it that way, then Sarah is the one that's been the guest artist for a minute, because she was doing the one that did the last issue. Now, I know, like, in the past, you know, when we've done events and things like that, when they do things like that, they put an artist on, you know, different things and different issues, you know, fans don't usually react well to that. And I'm like going, that's the only thing I want to bring out, is the fact that I wish they would just make up their mind and have one artist, and that artist do the event. But that being said, it was really great to see Sarah. I want to get more, but I understand. That being said,
that would destroy any artist.
I know. It's like, then the whole thing should be done by Livio, and not anybody else.
What Amy is trying to say is that, well, I could be wrong.
When this is traded, basically you're going to get 2 issues of Livio, then 1 of Sarah, 39, then Sarah, so it'll be Livio, Sarah, Livio. And it's like...
Number 3 is Sarah.
Oh, but the next one. Okay,
next
one
you're
saying.
40.
Okay,
yeah.
What I'm saying is that 40, then Windblade, then 40, 39, then Windblade, then 40, then Windblade 2, then the next 41. 41. So see what it's going to be like 1 issue here, switch artists. 2 issues here, switch artists. You know, it just...
And that's actually way better than when it was switching artists multiple times in one single issue.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I just think that, and don't get me wrong, when we get to that epilogue issue, that issue 4 or whatever it's supposed to be for Windblade, and I know it's those new artists coming on, that's all well and good, but I don't think that should have, like, the events, the way and, you know, I don't work at IDW, I can't tell these people what to do, but the way I see it is, each book has its own creative team. That creative team should be working on whatever book there is. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just
what you're
weird.
Basically saying is that the creative team for Windblade should be the creative team for Windblade on this too. But we're not really technically getting Windblade. I mean, we are. It's like it's titled Windblade.
We're getting Combiner Wars, and it has different titles. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if it continues after Combiner Wars, as you have so found out, you know, from Margaret that she's working on issue 6.
Margaret said, I mean...
Will Sarah be the artist on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what I really want to know, because I really want to hear that news. That's what I really want to hear coming out of Combiner Wars.
I worry that she's got some other gig and that we don't get her anymore. And
don't say that!
Are allowed to do other
put
stuff.
My hand through my microphone!
Stop
but I
jinxing
really
us. Jeez, it's your birthday. You shouldn't be jinxing the podcast.
I was going to say, don't make me, you know, have to kill you on your birthday. It's like, break through my computer. I don't want to have to pull a prowl here. I'd rather flip a table. My brain is flipping tables right now. I love Levio's work. I think that, he is, like, especially if you're going to be like, "Grah, Combiner Wars, big things, punching stuff." I mean, just devastation and all of that. You're right. He does the best at showing destruction. So the fact that this is a war, we want to see destruction. That dude going through Devastator's chest was so awesome.
Oh, blades! Rock on blades!
Oh, we're not getting the Rescue Butts blades here. We're getting a blades that knows how to
but I have a thing for helicopters.
Yeah.
I think for helicopters, so that
So wait, if you were an Autobot, your boyfriend would be Springer?
Come on, Springer's hot, man. He's
I'm
a
like,
triple
dude,
changer.
I freely admit that the new Springer toy is like make-outable, and it's a piece of plastic.
Yeah,
So
it's hot.
Okay.
It's make-outable.
All right, folks.
Wow.
You know what Heather got for her birthday?
In terms of
Talk
art,
about some top spinners.
back to the art real quick. Okay, I'm not done gushing about Livio. It's great. It's colorful. It's awesome. I want more of it, and I would be fine if we get all Livio for the rest of it. But I know that's not going to happen. So there you go.
that's true. Livia would work really well to do this whole event. Yeah. We'll just have to see. Like, this ending really gets to my little heartstrings. That panel where Prowl has finally detached and he's just lying there and he's like, this is wrong. And that feels so real. Like he's in himself again and he's confused and he's like, something is not right. I'm like, I have not really been best friends with Prowl for a long, long time. But right there, I'm like, I just want to pick him up and hug him.
Aww. No, it's not only that. It's everything is wrong. Like in the inside and the outside for him. Yeah. It's like
he's messed up.
He's just
and he's so desperate. Like
he
when
needs
he's
therapy. He needs wrong. Darn it! Why did you have to go all the way to the other side of the planet or the universe? Come back. We need you.
So we'll just have to see what happens to him.
You can't get the Decepticon version. Come on, that would be like adding salt.
Why not? Why not?
Okay.
Because he's all against the Decepticons right now. Now, yes, he's been part of a combiner who is a Decepticon. I get it. But that being said, I don't think he would react well if you had a therapist that just happens to be a Decepticon. That would be so wrong.
All right, so let's give our final thoughts on a rating here. Who wants to go first? Heather, you're the birthday girl. You go first.
Let's see. I'm trying to even formulate anything. Man, not quite sure what to rate this. Final thoughts are that this is really good, and I really enjoy the storytelling, and there were a couple of confusing arts, but I do think Margaret is just really good at getting me to care about people, and I love that about her writing.
Even Power Glide.
We'll see. Like you! It's not perfect. I'll probably give it a 4, but I'm really enjoying a lot of the directions this story is taking. I really, really loved the parallel between Chromia and Prowl. That was just fantastic. I love bringing Mirage back and all of his weird visioniness and linking it up with Ironhide's visioniness. That was granted last issue, but it's continued in this issue, so I can still say I love it, because I do. It's just good, so yeah, 4. It's good.
All right. What about you, Amy?
I knew you were going to say me next. I'm still percolating over this one.
Go first.
Yeah, I'm still percolating over this one because, like, I want to say that I've read this, 2 days ago, but when I got it, and I didn't until today. So my brain is like going, what do I want to rate it? Because I had a completely different reaction to it. Because, when I found out that I was like, it wasn't until this issue that I realized what they were doing. So when I found out that Livio wasn't going to be on, I was like, oh, no, it's going to be 2! And I was like, no, it's not there, because now that I've kind of accepted what this is and what we're getting and I've gotten over that, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're getting, and this is what it's going to do, and these are the writers, and this is really the reality here. Okay, all right, okay, I guess I can deal with that then. I'm doing what Prowl couldn't do. I'm accepting. Okay, so I think because I love what's going on here, I know what's going on, and all of the stuff that Heather already mentioned, I think that I'm going to rate it a 3.5, almost
You're
a 4.
questioning that.
Yeah, I'm like,
3.5?
yeah, I know. See, that's the thing is I need to percolate on it. I'm like, I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. There you go.
All right. All right. What about you, Mike?
I gotta give it a 4. As much as I love Livio, as much as I love Margaret's story, I still can't get past it not being Sarah. So it loses 1 point for that.
Oh, rough, man.
What about you, Nicole?
Well, see, when I first read this, I was going to give it a 3, but it really does help discussing it with other people. So my rating, okay, I'm giving a point just for Blades being kick-ass, okay? Because, hello, that was kill of the year, I'd say. Right?
It was pretty
kill
darn
him,
awesome.
but it was pretty cool. Yeah.
See, don't say something is the kill of the year, though, Nicole, because it just tempts James.
Especially when it's like, okay, they killed somebody over in the other one. I got to kill somebody now. You're just challenging him.
It was just really cool. Yeah, James, live up to that. Go for it. Challenge down. Boom.
You better be careful saying that. He might kill your purple boyfriend.
I don't think he will. I think they have plans for him.
Famous last words.
Famous last words. Please don't kill him.
All right, so
okay, I would say
it's like you're challenging Prowl. You know, dare you? I dare you to try to kill him. And he's like, okay.
You know what's sad is I can't relate to Prowl in so many ways. That scares me so many.
I think all of us can in some way or form.
Oh,
there have been times where I've said, I just want to flip a table.
It's like,
I told you. It's become the thing now. You know, the thing that Pearl does is like everybody's thing. Flip a table.
Talk about daring to be stupid.
I tell you, I just flipped the table not that long ago. And you what? I understand. It feels good. It feels really good.
It's like breaking glass.
Oh, that does feel good too. So, anyways, I will go and I'll make it across the board. We'll do the quattro. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
It's a solid 4.
16 stars. No, I really did enjoy it. I like how these characters are progressing. Windblade, just in the past year, I cannot believe how she's changed and she's matured and she's becoming a great leader. And I like to see where they're going with her. Prime's kind of scares me right now. He's so conflicted of, do I save one or the many, you know?
He's not in charge anymore, and it's almost like it's rotting his brain now.
It's messing with his head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I like to see where Starscream is, getting all this power, because I do love Starscream. One of those fangirls. I love him being a douchebag and getting the power. And
the thing is that I would like it if just one person would just tell him, like, you know, when he's done and walks out and goes to, like, down to his, like, room to recharge for the night, you know, on his recharge slab. Mm-hmm. Somebody says, dude, if you keep this up, you're gonna lose it. You say, okay, I'll pull it back a little bit. Just for a millisecond. And then he goes and, you know, looks in the mirror and just says, you're just so awesome, aren't you?
I need to get a new outfit. No, I liked how Chromia is rewriting her story. I really want to see her go bad, but you know, I like her interaction with Ironhide and her that look that both her and Windblade gave each other at the end there. It hit kind of at home to me, and like it was kind of personal. And I loved it. But yeah, there's a lot of things that did happen in this issue after I've discussed it with you, and I'm like, there really was a lot that's going on here. So yeah.
Well, and it also just. The good thing is that it shows how easy it is to slip down that slope. Mm-hmm. You know, Chromia did in the last issue, or in the last trade, basically in the last story. Chromia slipped down that slope, and so suddenly now it makes it, instead of somebody say, "How could this possibly happen?" It's like now, this is the reason why it can happen. is, somebody close to home recently did that to you. And, there you go.
That was another theme that I really appreciated, was bringing up how many people have blown it and how many people are still assumed to be jerks because of stuff like, I love how the Decepticons have just shown up kind of en masse in Caminus and are all helping out, and everybody's like, hey, thanks for coming, and the Decepticons are like, oh, cool. And there's a lot of Autobots being like, these creep Decepticons. And
taking our jobs.
but, having someone to show up and say, just because they wear a certain badge, you think these things about them, but they're not necessarily true. Yeah. Look and see what's actually happening. Maybe that's like a real theme of this story. Look and see what's actually happening, not what you think and assume.
The next time, I actually have to go through 2 of these because it makes more sense if I do. But next time around in Part 4 for Combiners Wars, which will be Transformers from number 41, as the space bridge reaches across the stars, will anyone stand against Starscream? The answer is yes, but the cure might prove worse than the disease. Now, when I first saw the cover for 41, I'm like, oh no, he's got the crown back. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Holy crap.
I love it when he has his crown. It makes it so pretty.
He's got his crown back. And for Windblade number 3, which is Combiner Wars Part 5, it says, Combiner Wars Conclusion. The last of the combiners face off, but who is in control of the ultimate combiner? And who will emerge with the key to dominating the galaxy? This cover...
Hailstorm.
I just gotta roll my eyes at that, folks.
No.
This cover, the regular cover here has Prowl on it with some, I don't know, giant-looking sword orb thing. And I'm like, I know this is an overall event, it's Combiner Wars, I get it, but this is friggin' Windblade. She needs to be on her own comics cover.
Again, expectations.
I know.
I'm sorry. I will take my Starscream with a crown.
No. I'm saying on the Windblade regular cover is Prowl.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I take another Starscream with a crown.
Well, maybe they're working more towards what you were hoping for, Mike, where Windblade is focused in a certain location and the Transformers series is in a different location. And so because a series about one character can only last so long. I mean, I've even gotten a little bit sick and tired of not Robots in Disguise anymore being all Prowl all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe so. We'll have to find out.
I hope in the end of all of this that we end up getting a Prowl that's like in therapy, behind bars, for a little while.
With
would be
wrong.
nice. Yeah, with wrong.
Is it bad that I actually hope he dies? Not that I hate him, but I think he's been so big for so long that he's almost reached Bumblebee proportions, and it'd be nice to have him gone for a bit.
See, I was just going to say that's exactly what happened with Bumblebee. And as much as I like the little guy, it's kind of nice to not see him,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was good that they killed him, but, we know how that ends, right? No one stays dead, we hope. Except Scrapper. And Pipes.
I doubt
Scrouge.
Stay dead.
And Scrouge. Wait. Margaret has not got a hold of him in this continuity yet, so don't spoil it. We could still have a Scrouge, just saying. I don't want to see her, stomping on the guy before the end of Windblade, okay? I just don't want to see that, because it's Combiner Wars,
I want to see because I want to hear the pain screams of Mr. Droplock. I am evil. I am sorry. I try to be good. It just doesn't happen. Anyways.
Save Scrouge.
You heard it here first, folks. She actually admitted it. She's evil.
I try to be good, and that counts. Okay.
She is the Decepticon on the podcast, just saying.
Yeah, don't judge me.
I'm not judging you. I'm just pointing out a fact.
Okay, so, well, that is the end of our show.
Does it have to be the end already?
Yeah, you know what?
Sorry.
It's almost midnight, and you know what happens at midnight with me?
It's always midnight. This show is always on midnight, just perpetually. We stop the clock and everything. It's always at midnight.
Alright, where can the fine folks find you, Amy?
You can find me
Besides
online.
in your bushes.
You can find me on Twitter at LadyWreck.
Nice.
Because
What
that's
about
where I
you?
pretty much hang out right now. Is LadyWreck or the Underbase, but mostly LadyWreck.
What about you,
Nice.
Miss Heather?
I haven't really figured out Twitter yet. I'm technically on there, but I'm not very good at it. Basically, if you Google Ha-HeePrime, it's me. I'm on DeviantArt. I have, my own dorky fanfiction.net account, on which I have stories I care deeply about.
What? Good. I've read them.
What?
Read them. I've got your book.
You're awesome. That's what friends are for. Yeah, so mostly DeviantArt, and I'm on Facebook, and I tend to hang out there a lot. Yeah, that's me. I'm everywhere.
She's everywhere.
She's behind you. Just
Yes.
look.
She's the one that's
creepy,
hiding
but
in
she's
Amy's
there.
bush.
I'm doing my best to imitate that creepy look that Overlord has when he, stoops into the med bay behind Ratchet. There we go.
And what about you, Mr. Mike? Where can the fine folks find you?
Find me on Twitter at TF2 and Mike. You know, also follow at Geekcast Radio as well for all the GCRN updates.
There you go. And I am Nicole. You can find me at Beatles Diva on Twitter. Just Google Beatles Diva. That's me. And I'm Hailstorm in all the Transformers forums, so.
Make sure you're not looking for the insect people.
What? Oh yeah, Beatles like the band, not the funny. Of course. So, with that little piece, we'll say goodbye. I'll need to say sayonara and aloha, dear listeners. Until next time, remember, 2 combiners through a space bridge is better than 1 egotistical table flipper at the controls.
Brilliant.
Thank you for tuning into our broadcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at The Underbase or interact on FullMetalHero.com.
Underbase complete. Cease transmission.
I apologize for. I'm going to try to mute myself when I cough, so. Hopefully. Okay, Anne. Every time I start to cough.
Yeah.
Smoke them if you got them.
I have the wiki on this time, so I can look up stuff. I'm still going to probably blow a few things, but you know.
It's alright! Everyone likes a good blowdown.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, and on that note...
On that note, this has officially become middle school, 1987.
Wow.
Oh, you wish you knew me in middle school.
No, you're scary enough now.
Okay, and 3, 2, we ready?
Yes.
I interrupted myself.
Oh my god.
Now we really have seen it all. Nicole doesn't need anybody officially interrupting her. She interrupts herself.
I didn't know if you guys were ready.
Well,
Okay.
interrupting yourself is your special talent, Nicole.
I'm special. Special.
Oh,
Ed.
Nicole, she's special.
My mama tells me so.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Unless you bite into them, just spit them out. Then you can pretty much figure it out. Just bite everyone. Okay. That's my advice to everyone. Just bite everyone. Okay.
Just bite everyone.
Just bite everyone.
we keep trying to pretend like we know the future.
Yeah, that's right. We're laughing.
I saw it, but it didn't come true.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you're officially Ironhide now. As long as
for noticing me.
Exactly.
I don't think they listened to us last podcast, and I know this issue was probably done by the time we put out the first Windblade podcast, but Superion, he's not a badass combiner. He is completely missing from the roll call page.
Oh, we're going back there? Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, just gonna.
I did.
Yeah, but he's...
That's right. Superion's not here, man.
No, he's completely missing in the roll call.
That's right, because I did say that, it's going to say badass combiner. I was the one that coined that phrase. Oh, yeah! Did I say that I was sleep deprived?
Yeah.
It happens. Trust me. It happens.
37 was rough. I'm like, I'm old now. Now I'm like, meh.
I hit 40, and that's what I'm going to feel. That's what I'm going to feel when I hit 40.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm just so used to just being me, and age doesn't matter, and I'm the doofus that loves giant robots. And at some point, like I always say, I'm going to be like 95 and still being like, hey, imaginary Megatron, you're my best bro, and I love you. But yeah,
imaginary Megatron.
I love imaginary Megatron. He's my best pal. But, at some point, when does that become so ridiculous that it's obscene? And I'm like, I'm just gonna make it not ridiculous, okay? I'm just gonna continue.
The only thing, you have not injured yourself like the Candy Crush guy. You're good.
I don't think any one of us are ever going to do that, so, I think we'll be good for a very long time.
Wait, time out. Is that a challenge?
The thing with Waspinator is he's Amy said he's the key, and all I can think of is I am the key master. I am the key keeper.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Just goes her when you need her.
He can play that role now. Oh my gosh. Those two. Oh, goodness.
Oh. This is what happens. I've been up for 36 hours.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I will not remember this conversation in the morning. Okay.
You need to record it for proof.
It's a good thing we record stuff for proof then.
I did not say that.
Yes, you did.
All right. And 3, 2, 1.